Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome, everybody. Um, how's everyone doing today? It's kind of cold. It's raining. How's everyone doing today? You can unmute yourself. Good. Okay, Angelina. Thank you. It's raining hard. Yes, it's raining hard. So, yeah, I hope that you are all staying warm.
Hello?
Yes, Melody. I love doing that too. Okay. And I want to be in the house when it's raining and just listen to the rain. Yeah. Yeah. So I hope that everyone is doing well. Well, thank you everybody for being here this afternoon, even though it's cold, it's raining, you're in the right spot. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you everyone. Great. Okay. So my name is Lota Cobb and I am Jennifer, true. Yeah, just stay home. Okay. My name is Lota Cobb, and I am the learning disability specialist on the Menifee campus, and also my colleague Erica Mendeville. She is in this room as well, and she is the learning disability specialist on the San Jacinto campus. There's Erica. Okay. So let me just share my screen with you all. Um, here. From the beginning, from the beginning. Uh, and okay. Can you guys see my screen? Yeah. Can you guys see my screen? Can you hear me good? Are we
Yeah, I can
good?
see it.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much. All right. So this afternoon, we are going to talk about how are you going to do better in exams, okay? And we will provide you with test taking strategies, okay? So as I've said, we are from the Personalized Academic Learning Skills Program. And let me just so the personalized academic learning skills program, this is not a new program at MSJC. We've been around. It's just that when Erica and I started in the position that we're at right now, one thing that we did is to change the mission and vision goal because we to reflect the services that we offer to students. So I just would like to share those with you first. So the Personalized Academic Learning Skills Program provides assessment and strategic personalized instruction that specializes in comprehensive support for students with learning differences or those students that need extra support to master the areas of reading, writing, and or math skills. And our vision for this program is to provide all students with equal and equitable access to programs and services at MSJC by working collaboratively with the Accommodation Service Center. So we work with the ASC, we work collaboratively with the Learning Resource Center and other student services. Okay. So, all right. What is our agenda today? Okay. So here's what we are going to talk about today. So we have 15 minutes to go over all of this. I hope we can make it in 50 minutes. Okay. Um, so we are going to talk about first. I'm gonna tell you what the goal of the workshop is. Then we will talk a little bit about testing accommodations if you're part of the Accommodation Service Center. And then the meat of this workshop is the strategies, test taking strategies before, during, and after test, and also some test taking strategies for specific question types. And then I will also provide you with some strategies on how to overcome test anxiety. And then after that, we're gonna have our questions. Or if let's make this interactive. Okay, if you have any questions or if you have a comment during the presentation while I'm talking here, you can use the chat feature, you can use the reactions feature, and then we'll try to get to you. Okay. So what is the goal of the workshop? So the goal of the workshop is to empower you all, okay, to identify and apply academic habits and soft skills through a deeper understanding and purpose for these skills. Okay, we have been doing this workshop for like 2 years now. So as I've said, we are going to provide you with study skills. Okay, different strategies, different tools. Now, if there are some tools or strategies that you have been using, you know, if those strategies are working for you, then keep on doing it, keep on using it if they are working for you. But if there are some that's kind of like new to you, if let's say in this workshop, there is something that's kind of new to you and you want to experiment on that, do it. And then, you know, who knows, you might like that strategy, it might work for you. So this is, you know, it doesn't mean that whatever we're saying here, that those are the ones that you're going to be doing. Like what I've said, if there is already something that you're using and you are comfortable using that, and that strategy is working for you, continue using it. Okay. Okay. Next one is ASE test accommodation. So I'm going to give you some brief, a little bit of information about the test accommodations. If a student is part of the accommodation service center and the student has test accommodations, these are the responsibilities of the student. The student is responsible for informing the ASC of any test request or instructor test date changes. If there's going to be, let's say, a test, you have to inform them all the requests must be made at least 7 days prior to the test date and time. So let's say on the 15th, on March 15th, I can believe it's March 1st now. We're now in March. Okay, March 15th, you have a test. So at least, you know, 7 days prior to March 15th, you're going to go to the ASC and inform them that you have your test. That way, there will be like a smooth communication between your instructor and the accommodation service center. Schedule and take your test, your exam or your quiz on the same day and time as your class and complete in one sitting. Let's say on the 15th, your test is at 1 o'clock. You have to do it at 1 o'clock also at the same time as your classmate. Take care of your personal needs prior to starting exams. Okay, before you go to AZ to take your exam, take care of your personal needs. Okay, go to the bathroom first. Make sure that before you go to take your test, make sure that you have you had your snack already, you had taken your lunch already. You don't want to be taking the test in, you know, an empty stomach. Okay, and then make sure that all the materials that you need are with you. You have all of them; they're all ready. That way, you don't have to, you know, waste your time in getting up and finding all of those materials that you need for test taking. Contact the ASC and your instructor if you are unable to take your test, exam, quiz on the scheduled day and time for any reason. Okay, life happens. Okay, so if you cannot make it, it is your responsibility to contact your instructor. Contact ASC right away. Okay, something happened, I have a family emergency, so I cannot take the test today. It is your responsibility. Okay. Now, if you are not part of the accommodation service center and you feel like, you know, you need testing accommodations, you want to know about how to get testing accommodations, you can have a conversation with me or with Erica. Okay, as I've said, I am on the Menifee campus, and then Erica is on the San Jacinto campus. And I will provide you with our email. I guess the last slide has our email information. Okay. So these are the responsibilities of students who are part of the accommodation service center when it comes to test accommodations. Okay, now these are time where we're going to be a little bit interactive, a little bit more interactive. So here's a question. What test taking strategies have you been using that you find effective? Okay, you want to share it with the group, you can unmute yourself, you can use the chat feature, and I will try to multitask and look at the chat at the same time. So is there like a specific test taking strategy that you have been using and you find that strategy effective? What is that strategy? Anybody? Anyone? You can share it in the chat. Flashcards, yes. Memorization and repetition. Oh, wow. Kevin, Quizlet, yes. Okay. So these are good tools. Stress relief, Quizlet, okay. Oh, okay. Memorizing, Quizlet, okay. Okay, notes, yes, Audra, you're using your notes, you're making flashcards, Angelina. Peppermint during the exam. I think Erica can share something about that too. Right, Erica? Peppermint. Okay, I love the matching games. Okay, in your review. Okay, taking notes and summarizing main points. Yes, good sleep for memory recall. All right, these are good strategies. Awesome. Thank you all for sharing. Yeah, and good sleep for memory recall. What else? Do we still have another one? Okay. So these are all good strategies. I'm so
Can I share the peppermint? So
sure.
I don't know what Melody means by peppermint. I don't know if it's peppermint gum, but I use peppermint oil to kind of help me relax a little bit. A lot of people use essential oils and they seem to kind of help calm down and relax and not be so anxious. So that's what I've pointed out to Loda before. I've told her before
I,
about
rem- I
peppermint
remember
oil.
that. I remember that. Thank you for sharing, Erica. Okay. So all of those strategies, okay, that you shared. Go ahead, Alisa. Alisa, do you want to share something?
You can chew. Can you hear me?
It's
Can you
kind
hear me?
of choppy.
I'll share it in chat.
Okay, go ahead. Okay. Okay, Monica said that peppermint or essential oil helps me to stay alert but focused. Okay, less anxious. Yeah, yeah. Just like what Erica said. Yeah, that's what she's been using to. I've tried lavender oil. Yeah. Um, okay. So thank you for sharing. What's it? Okay, Alisa, chew peppermint gum when studying, and you'll remember what you were studying when you take it. Ah, okay. I have never done that. Okay. Right. Maybe that's something for me to try, right? Just like what I told you in the beginning, something similar, something that's gonna like, okay, this kind of interesting. Let me try it. Okay. Okay. I'll try that one, Lisa. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. So let's move on to the next one. Okay. Okay, so test taking strategies before, after, and before, during, and after test. All right, so test taking strategies before the test. Okay, the test taking strategies, we're not just gonna apply that during the test. You have to do something also before you take the test. Okay, so what are those? User study skills as you go. These are, let's say, time management skills. These are your note-taking skills. Use them as you are preparing for your test, okay? Prepare appropriately ahead of time. Okay, there are a variety of ways to prepare for tests that go well beyond just studying and assessing your learning of course content. So be prepared both mentally and physically. That will help you provide, with the right frame of mind as you enter the test. Okay, so as I've said, use your study skills as you go. Time management skills, note-taking skills, all of those, apply them as you are studying and preparing for the test. Research, next one is research the test structure and scope. So what does it mean? You have to look at what is the test format? What do you think is the format that the instructor is going to use for the test? And make sure that you know the chapters that the test covers. Okay, what chapters does it cover? How many questions are on it? Okay, what is the time limit? Is there going to be a time limit in the test? And what materials are allowed? Will your instructor let you use a calculator, or will your instructor let you use, let's say, a 3x5? So what materials are allowed in the test? Is a study guide provided? Will the instructor provide you a study guide? So and also you may want to know also what percentage of your final grade is this test. So you have to research on all of those things before the test. Next is collect and organize the resources you need to study. So what are those resources? When you study before the test, your notes, okay, your lecture notes, okay, and then your study guides, the practice tests, the handouts that were given by the instructor, the PowerPoint presentations, whatever notes you have for the test, make sure that you have them all ready before you study, okay? Before you study for the test. As I mentioned a while ago, you don't want to be just we'll just go up and then look for the notes that you had for that sociology class that you're studying for. Make sure that before you study, have them all ready in front of you, okay? And also you study over several periods of several sessions or several periods of time. Make a study plan for several days before the exam. This is where your calendar, this is where you're going to use your calendar to schedule all the tests that you have, all the studying that you're going to do for the test, okay? And also when you study, you don't want to be studying like 4 hours before or the night before, or straight 4 hours. Make sure that you chunk it up, okay? Make a study plan, study over several sessions. Okay, let's say today I'm going to study for 1 hour and that's it. Okay, tomorrow I'm gonna be studying for another hour, and then the following day I'm gonna be studying for 1 hour instead of doing 4 straight hours. Okay, it's more beneficial if you do your studying over several periods of time. So another thing that I guess a couple of weeks ago when I had this workshop on how to study smarter, not harder, those intense study sessions, use those intense study sessions wherein you're going to spend like 45 to 60 minutes chunks and then take a break. Okay. As I've said, you don't want to be, sitting in your computer, in front of your computer or in your room studying for 4 straight hours, or, an all night, you're going to pull off an all-nighter. That is not a good strategy for you to use whenever you are studying. Study in chunks, okay? Next is, I've heard this from most of you, make study aids, okay? The study guides, create flashcards, make a study guide, make a practice test, okay? So you know what's gonna be in the test, so try to create your own practice test. And then here's another one that you guys mentioned, get a good night's sleep. Okay, that is very important. And also have a healthy breakfast, and be sure that all the necessary materials that you're going to use the following day when you take the test, they are already. Prepare them all the night before. So after studying, you're ready for tomorrow's test. What you're gonna do is, okay, I'm gonna have my scansion ready. I'm gonna have 2 pencils. I'm gonna have pen, and I'm gonna have, my notebook. Make sure that they are all ready before you go to bed. And then those are all the necessary materials that you need: erasers, pens, test booklets, calculator if you are, if you need the calculator. And then another thing is arrive early and relax. Okay, you don't want to go to, let's say the test is at 8 o'clock. You try to give yourself some time to be there early. Okay, arrive early and relax. You want to be able to choose, where you want to sit in the classroom, and you can only do this if you arrive early. If you arrive late, maybe the seat that you will get is not the seat that you are comfortable in sitting. So if you're thoughtful about your and when you go to your test, right, bring all your materials. If you're thoughtful about the preparation, you'll be more at ease, right, as you wait for the test to begin. Okay, so be ready. And also remember, whenever we are, when we are waiting for, let's say, the classroom, the classroom to open, we're waiting for our instructors, we're waiting outside, right? Try to avoid standing or sitting around anxious students. Those are like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm gonna, those, I don't know if I'm going to pass this test or not. So try to avoid standing or sitting next to people who are anxious. That's contagious, right? So what you're gonna do, find a different place or to sit or to stand while you are waiting. Okay, so use that time prior to the test to relax. Okay, take deep breaths and then think positive thoughts. I prepared for this test, I studied for this test, I'm going to get the grade that I want for this test. Those are examples of positive thoughts that you have to tell yourself before you go and take the test. Remember to focus on your own preparation, right? You prepared for that, and also your own future success. These are just some of the things that you need to do before the test. And I've heard most of this from you guys. Awesome. That's great. Okay. Now we are in the test. Okay. We are at test day. During the test, instructor is going to give you the test. All right. You're in the classroom. The instructor is going to give you the test paper. So what you're going to do, scan the test first to see what it covers. Okay. Once the test paper gets handed to you, don't just do it right away. No, scan the test paper first to see what it covers. Because why do you have to do that? This often reduces anxiety and it boosts your confidence. Identify the point value of each test section. Take notes on the number of questions, the point values, and other important information. Let's say you have a test in math, right? And then there are 5 problems. And you know that problem, let's say problem 2. Oh, I know how to work on that. And problem 2 it's going to give me, let's say, 5 points, okay? Instead of, the next one, problem 3, it will only give me like 2 points. And I know problem 2, I know how to work on that. I'm going to work on that first, okay? So you could do that. Scan the test first to see what it covers. Next is write down what you know. Okay, so you prepared for the test. You have all of this, let's say formula, you have all of these acronyms. Okay, they're all in your brain, right? Consider a brain dump. What is brain dump? This means that you're writing down the formulas, the mnemonic devices, or the equations, let's say in math. So if you're trying to remember things like the formulas, the definitions, or the list, what you're going to do is you can flip your test over, your test paper, or maybe on the side of your paper, of your test paper, okay? Flip your test paper over and write down everything that you are trying to remember. All right, so all of those information that you have in your brain, dump them in your test question, in the back of your test question, okay? That way you are not holding it here, right? So by doing that, by recording things you are worried you might forget later, you can begin the exam with more confidence and less stress. Also, this will also clear your brain, allowing you to focus 100% on the test rather than using part of your attention to remember that specific information. Okay? Next is plan your time. So we call that the brain dump, okay? Plan your time. Now that you have scanned your test, how much time should you spend on each section? This can often reduce anxiety and keeps you, from unnecessary like rushing, okay? Check on the time often to make sure that you are on track, okay? Slow down or speed up if you have more time. Yeah, slow down. And then if, let's say, you have done everything and then, there's only like 5 minutes left, then maybe you need to speed up this time, okay? So you have to work on your time. You have to plan your time. And also, as I mentioned, work on high point value questions first. You will get more points instead of, going from the first one, wherein the first one you only get 1 point compared to question number 3, wherein you can get 5 points. So I'm going to work on the one that will give me the high point value first, okay? The high point value question. Next is read instructions carefully, okay? Whenever you get the test, the test paper, don't just, answer right away. No, you have to read the instructions carefully. Don't assume that you know what the instructions are. Be sure that you know what the instructions are. So if you have any question, let's say, okay, you don't understand it. Maybe, you can ask your instructor to clarify it. Okay. So next is answer the easy questions first and skip the harder ones. Or, for some students, I don't know, for some students, they say they want to do the harder ones, but then if it's kind of hard, you will spend more time on that one, right? You will spend more time working on that hard problem wherein you are going to be wasting your time. So if there are some questions that are easy for you, answer them right away. Answer them right away, and then go back to the ones that are hard, the harder questions. Read each question carefully. I mentioned that. Read the instructions carefully. So answer everything. Don't leave everything blank, even if you have to guess. All right. So for that one, let's say you're gonna go through the test, and then I think it's a true or false test. Okay. I don't know the answer to this one, but it's a true or false. I have a 50-50 chance of getting the correct answer. So just guess for the answer if you're not sure of the answer. So make sure that you answer everything. And next one is don't rush. Use all the time available. There are no points for finishing the test first. Okay, so if let's say you will finish the test first, the instructor is going to give you extra point for doing that. No, it's not. If you are given, let's say, an hour to finish the test, spend that whole hour. It doesn't matter if your classmates are standing up and already done with the test and leaving the room. You have an hour, so that is your time. Use that time to finish your test. Okay, it's not a race. The test is not a race, so you're not going to be I want to be the first one to finish the test. No, it's not. Try to utilize the time that's available for you. And then check for accuracy. So you have extra time, right? And let's say you have finished the test already, and then you have, let's say, like 5-10 minutes left. Okay, don't just leave. Check for accuracy. Check to make sure that you have answered all parts of the question. Check your answer sheet all the questions, and make sure that you are not mismarking. Only change your answer. Here's the thing. Only change your answer if you are sure you made a mistake, because your first instinct is most likely the correct answer. Okay? So that is during the test. Okay? Next is after the test. Are we done? After the test, we'll just get up and, okay, I'm done with the test. No, there are some things that you need to do after the test. Okay? So you're not finished learning after completing the test. Students often do not analyze performance and learn from it after taking a test. Good students take time to critique themselves and set goals. What you do after you finish a test is almost as important as what you do to prepare for the test. First one is reflect on your test-taking experience. Okay, how was it? How did it go? Okay, how it went. Analyze the problems or the questions that you missed. Okay, and then determine what techniques or strategies might have helped you, and plan for how you will approach your next test. So it's kind of like a reflection phase after the test, right? Here, and then with all these strategies, you can also reflect on what could have you been, what have you done, what could have been improved. Students who are able to reflect on and learn from their test-taking experiences are more likely to make specific changes to their test-taking process, okay? And the changes that will, benefit you on your next test. Next one is try to see the opportunity in your experience. Okay, try to see the opportunity in your experience. If you did well in your test, yay, that's awesome. Okay, what do you think contributed to that, and what will you do in the future to keep studying and practicing in such an effective way? So that means that you did well, you did it great, you did good in the test, right? So you must have done something, right? For you to be able to get the grade that you want. But if you did not do as well as you'd hoped, what changes can you make to your method? Okay, so this isn't all going to work for everyone perfectly or exactly. You might need to make some tweaks or whatever it is for you to decide to try. Okay, so that's okay, but make sure that you are going to do this process right after the test. It's not going to end. These test taking strategies are not going to end right after you turn in your paper to your instructor. So try to reflect and try to see the opportunity in the test taking experience that you just had. All right. So test taking strategies for specific test questions. So there's a lot of types of questions, right? Whenever you are taking the test, when we have objective tests. Okay. So when you begin, you pay attention to verbal and written directions. Okay. Pay close attention to all the directions that are given to you. Okay, if it's a written direction, read it, and read it if you don't understand, and you can ask your instructor also. Okay, so and also for this one, for written directions and for verbal directions. Maybe you spend so much time in reading the instructions. It's like, oh my gosh, I've been reading these instructions for like 5 times now and I still don't understand. Okay, maybe that's the time we're in. You can reach out to Erica and I after the test and then talk to us. Okay. Hey Erica, I was in the test and then I was trying to understand the directions, but I still can't understand. I don't understand the instructions. What's going on with me? Okay, then we could work with you. We could help you. We could give you some strategies, further strategies, or maybe a learning disability assessment is the right way to go. Right. Also, when you are doing the instructions, read the directions slowly twice. So just like what I've said, if you cannot, if still you're reading it twice, reading it twice, still, you don't understand, then maybe, go and have a conversation with us. Okay. Okay. Scan the whole test also. That's the first strategy that I have provided during the test. And evaluate the importance of each section. Each section is important, okay? It doesn't mean that, you might say that, oh no, this one is so easy, this is not as important as the first section. No, they have of equal importance, okay? And in margins, jot down memory aids. I've said this in our previous slide, the brain dump. Jot down memory aids, the formulas, the equations, and the facts. Answer easiest and or shortest questions first. Time, pace yourself. Okay, you're given an hour to finish a test. Use that hour to work on your test. And then look for answers in other test questions. Let's say, for some, let's say you don't find the answer. Some questions are kind of tricky, but you know what? There are some questions where you could find the answer in other test questions in the next, maybe next test question. So look for answers in other test questions. In same test, all right? I'm talking about the same test. Now, if we have a multiple choice test, okay? Say we have a multiple choice test. Read the question before you look at the answer. For some students, they will just, they'll just look at the answer right away. No, go over the question first. Okay, look at the question before you look at the answer. Don't look at the answer right away. Okay, make sure that because if you understand the question, it will be easy for you to choose which answer is the right one. And then come up with the answer in your head before looking at the possible answers. So you will have read the question, come up with an answer before looking at the choices, okay? This way, the choices given on the test won't throw you off or trick you, okay? Next, eliminate answers you know aren't right. So there are 4 choices. Oh, I know that the second choice is not right and the third choice is not right. So there's going to be, I'm thinking about the first and the fourth choices. Okay, so try to, the process of elimination, you're sure that the two of the answers, 2 of the choices are not right, eliminate them. Okay, read all the choices before choosing your answer. So that's and that's when the elimination goes to. If there is no guessing penalty, always take an educated guess and select an answer. Okay. And don't keep on changing your answer. As I've said, usually your first choice is the right answer, the right one, unless you misread the question. Okay, let's say we have this question, all of the above, none of the above, right? We have that whenever we have our multiple choice test. In all of the above and none of the above choices, if you are certain one of the statements is true, don't choose none of the above, okay? If you read all the choices and there's one that is true, do not choose none of the above. Or one of the statements is false, then don't choose all of the above. So that's a trick, okay? One of them is true, do not choose none of the above. If one of them is false, do not choose all of the above. Okay. In a question with an all of the above choice, if you see that at least 2 correct, if there are 2 correct statements, then all of the above is probably the answer. Okay, so all of the above this time, there are 2 that you think those are correct, then all of the above probably, there is a big chance that is the answer. All right, a positive choice is more likely to be true than a negative one. Positive choice, negative. Okay, so you gear towards positive choice. Usually the correct answer is the choice with the most information. Okay, so for multiple choice test, okay, usually the correct answer is the one, the choice with the most information. Okay. Right, so that's for the multiple choice. Next one. Okay, here we go. We have our math test. Okay. So whenever you are doing a math test, okay, when you're taking a math test, do the problems that have the greatest point values first. I explained this previously. Okay, question number one, I will get 10 points if I'll get the correct answer if I'm going to get the answer to this question, to that equation. Okay, so question number two, I will get 2 points. Question number three, I will get 10 points. So maybe I'll work on question number one first because I'm going to get more points if I'm going to get the answer correctly. So do the problems that have the greatest point values first. Okay, here, time again. Don't rush, but pace yourself. Read the entire question and look for keywords. It's very important for math, especially if you miss one digit, if you miss a decimal point. Okay, yeah, everything is like, I don't know what's going to happen. Your answer is going to be incorrect. Okay, so read the entire question and then look for keywords. Ask the instructor for clarification if you don't understand what they're saying on the test. And also write legibly. If the grader cannot read what you wrote, they'll most likely mark it wrong. So try to write as legible as possible. Okay, so especially with the numbers, as I've said, just one missing decimal point, that is very important. If you put it too tiny and it's not, and then your numbers are too close to each other, then you know what, the grader might see, okay, I don't understand this, so what I'm going to do is I'll just mark it wrong. For some students who are having difficulty when it comes to writing their numbers, let's say you have a lined paper like this, for you to be able to write your numbers and separate them nicely, you may want to flip this sideways like this, and then use each column for each for the numbers when you write down the numbers. That way your numbers are aligned. Okay, so write legibly. Always read the whole question carefully and don't make assumptions about what the question might be. Okay, reading the whole question carefully. Okay, if you don't know an answer, skip it, go on with the rest of the test, and then come back to it later. Maybe maybe on another part of the test, there will be something that will help you out with that question, right? Because for some, you can find some of the answers in other questions. So if you really don't know the answer, don't try to just sit there and then try to figure out. Your time is running out, so don't do that. Okay, skip that one first, and then make sure you put some let's say marks in there for you to remember that you have to go back and then redo that question. Okay, so go on with the rest of the test and then just come back to it later when you are done with all the questions. Okay, so that's for our math test. Okay, some more on math test. Bring all your test materials. Bring at least 2 pens, pencils with good erasers, calculator with enough batteries, and any other resources that your instructor allows you to take with you for the test. Bring a watch to the test with you so that you can better pace yourself. Okay, so for you to be able to keep track of time, keep a positive attitude throughout the whole test. Okay, keep a positive attitude throughout the whole test and try to stay relaxed. If you start to feel nervous, what you're gonna do? Okay, just take a deep breath. Okay, take a deep breath and then relax and then continue on. All right. When you first receive the test, do a quick survey. So I mentioned this already. Do a quick survey of the entire test. Okay, so do a quick survey of the entire test. That way you know how you're going to efficiently budget your time. Okay, do the easiest problems first. Don't stay on a problem that you are stuck on, especially when time is a factor. Okay, don't worry if others finish before you. Focus on the test in front of you, not on those who finished and then, those who are done and then left the room and they're done. No, focus on the test, okay? Remember, I told you it's not a race. It says it's not a race. If you're given an hour, use that hour. Okay. When you are finished, if you have time left over, you look over the test. Make sure that you have answered all the questions and only change an answer if you if you have misread it or if you have misinterpreted the question, because the first answer that you put is usually the correct answer. Okay, true or false? Okay, usually there are more true answers than false on most tests. All right, if there is no guessing penalty, try to guess. Okay, you have, I said this already, you have 50% chance of getting the correct answer. Okay, it's just true or false. If you're not sure, okay, just pick true or false. At least you have 50% chance of getting it correctly. Read through each statement carefully and pay attention to the qualifiers and some keywords. Okay, some keywords. What are those qualifiers? Like never, always, and every means that the statement must be true all of the time. Usually those types of qualifiers lead to a false answer. Qualifiers like usually, sometimes, and generally mean that the statement can be considered true or false depending on the circumstances. Usually these types of qualifiers lead to a answer that is true. If any part of the question is false, then the entire statement is false. Okay, when you are reading the question and then there's something there that's false, then you can tell right away that it's false. But just because part of the statement is true, it doesn't necessarily make, the entire statement true. So you still have to, you still have to read it carefully. Okay, so true or false, 50%, 50-50. Essay test, when we have essay exams, decide precisely what the question is asking. Are you being asked to describe, to compare, to contrast, prove, summarize? So read the prompt properly, read the directions carefully, make a quick outline. Once you get your prompt, make a quick outline, a short outline. It doesn't have to be a fancy outline. Just make a quick outline on your notes. Get to the point, okay? Get to the point. Avoid those fluff. Put the most solid supporting points first, and then also write legibly when you are asked to, when you're asked to write your essay exam using your pen or your pencil. Okay. Now, open book. You think, I'm thinking that when I say open book, the first thing that comes to my mind is that, it's easy because it's open book. I could just look at the, go over the book and then find the answer. Okay, so do not underestimate the difficulty of this test. Okay, so when you are doing open book test, write the formulas you need on a separate sheet of paper. Okay, you paste post-it notes or paper clips on important pages. So you go over the pages of the book and you know that those pages are important. Try to put some bookmarks or post-it notes or paper clips on those important pages. That way, when a question comes up and you know that question, you're sure that the question can be found on page 43. Let's flip it. Page 43. It's already, there's a paper clip in there and you'll find the answer right away. Also, organize your class notes. Make a short version of what pages you will find content in your text, and time again, budget your time. It's easy to spend too much time on one question, so try to budget your time. Even if it's an open book, then you still have to budget your time. This time, we are going to talk about test anxiety. I know that for a lot of students, this is something that they suffer from. Okay, when it comes to this, oh my gosh, we have a test. I don't know what I'm going to do. Okay, so for many students, preparing for a test and taking a test can easily cause worry and anxiety. Okay, most students report that they are more stressed by tests and schoolwork than anything else in their lives. And that was according to the American Test Anxiety Association. So most of us have experienced this. I have experienced this, and I'm still experiencing this. It is it is normal to feel stressed before an exam. In fact, that may be a good thing, all right? Stress motivates you to study and review, generates adrenaline to help sharpen your reflexes and focus while you're taking the exam. And it might also even help you remember some of the materials you need. But here's the thing though, suffering too many stress symptoms or suffering any of them severely will impede your ability to show what you have learned. So here, test anxiety is a psychological condition in which a person feels distressed before, during, or after a test or exam to the point where stress causes poor performance. Anxiety during a test interferes with your ability to recall knowledge, right? You studied a lot, you prepared for this, but when your anxiety kicks in, everything is gone, right? So anxiety during a test interferes with your ability to recall all those information from memory, as well as your ability to use higher level thinking skills ability. So what are those common signs of test anxiety? You are worrying about forgetting material when studying, okay? You just froze up, okay? And going blank during the test. You don't know, okay, what is it? I don't know. I forget everything, okay? Having irrational negative thoughts before the test, feeling that you have never done enough to prepare. So these are all coming in. It's like feeding your brain, oh, I didn't do enough. I didn't study enough. I'm not gonna get. So these are all negative thoughts. I talked to you about the positive thinking, positive thoughts that you have to tell your brain that, whenever you're taking the test. So those negative thoughts will add to your anxiety. And then also what's going to happen, feeling that you have never done enough. Okay, Crystal, sorry. Okay. Oh, sorry. Where am I? Okay, I am on test anxiety. All right. Next. Okay, how are you going to overcome this? Be prepared. A primary cause of test anxiety is not knowing the material, not preparing for the test. If you take a good class and read notes and review them regularly, this stressor should be greatly reduced, if not eliminated. So preparation is the key. When you are prepared, you are confident going into your exam. All right. So be prepared. Okay. All those things that you need to do before the test. I see that Crystal is. Are you trying to underline some words in there, Crystal? Um, okay, next one is practice. One of the best ways to prepare for an exam is to take a practice test, all right? To overcome test taking anxiety, practice test taking in a test-like environment, like in your study room or in the library, okay? Bring your practice test. Do it in the library, do it in the study room, okay? And when you are practicing, practice staying calm, relaxed, and confident. All those positive thoughts with you. If you find yourself feeling overly anxious, stop. Okay, remember you're practicing. That way, this is the thing that you're going to do when you are in your actual test. Okay, when you're feeling anxious, stop and then start again. Avoid negative thoughts. Your negative thoughts, let's say, I'm not going to pass this test, or I can't figure this out. I must be really not good with this. I must be really, let's say some students, it might be really dumb or stupid. These negative thoughts may move you into a, spiraling stress cycle that in itself causes enough anxiety to block your best effort. Okay. So when you feel you're brewing a storm of negative thoughts, stop what you're doing and clear your mind. Breathe. Okay, clear your mind and then breathe. All right. So don't practice having anxiety. Allow yourself to daydream a little, visualize yourself in pleasant surroundings with good friends, but don't go back to work until you feel the tension is released. Okay. Um, Next is have a plan, visualize yourself for success. And remember, it's all about you. Okay, you're doing great. You have studied, you have prepared for this test, and it's all about you. Don't waste your time comparing yourself to other students in the class, especially during the exam. Keep focused on what you're doing. All right. So have a plan and follow it. Okay. And then Erica, would you mind? Okay. Hold on. Erica, are you still there?